Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to be with you today because I get to do my biannual rant. Prepare yourselves and cover the ears of children and the elderly while I address what we would most commonly refer to as a skill issue afflicting our community. I have seen a lot of people complaining about not being able to waltz through lethal. And, well, I too wanted a piece of this viewership pie, but I think the people complaining are weak-willed and lack constitution, so I will be taking the other side. Lethal is not too difficult, they are just not good enough to keep up. Some folks chose to be sucker punched right in the ego by that statement confirmed by the recent update, and I say those pasty teabags probably had it coming. They wanted easy, they got easy, and then they complained. They said they wanted hard, they got hard, and then they complained. I think I noticed the theme here. Some people just want to complain, so why don't we return the same courtesy to them? Some say when you wrestle with a pig, the pig gets happy and you get covered in mud. It's an allegory as to why you don't stoop low when people are arguing and being petty. Well, I am an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of guy, and I'll get down and dirty with that pig so long as she doesn't try to call me back the next day. The she in that joke, by the way, was the mothers of the people who are bitching and moaning, and the joke was that I called their mom a pig and insinuated I fornicated with her just to spite them. By the way, just to clear this air as fast as I can, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being unable to smash through lethal or any difficulty for that matter. I actually respect the hell out of anyone who is out there putting in the work trying to improve without searching for excuses. I mean, shit, I got a whole Discord server that's over 500 people deep, dedicated to helping one another play, linked to my channel. Plug over. There's no shame in needing improvement, but I will unabashedly shame someone who decries a good product because it forces you to use your brain, especially after demanding that that product make them think. As somebody with a platform, it is my civic duty to make fun of these idiots, or maybe I just enjoy it heavily. I don't really know at this point, but I do know that it feels right. Anyway, point is, if you feel like you're bad and you're trying to improve, the disrespect in this video is not directed towards you whatsoever. You possess the basic level of self-awareness that the people this video is addressing lack entirely. I wish you the best in your progression. Anyway, that's too much talk about improving. Let's return to glaring at these ass clowns. And don't worry, if you've been moaning about the patch on Reddit or wherever, you can join too. But you're going to need a mirror or some fashion of reflective surface if you're going to participate. Let's knock this out right now because it's the biggest complaint by everyone across the board. The armor tether. Could the radius be larger? Yes, and it's probably going to be changed to that because of incessant nagging. But if you can't work with it, Nurgle, get out of here. It's not your part now. But if you can't work with it, that is just a skill issue. Simple as. You can get past the armor tether with basic group teamwork. Either that, or double up people with similar range and have the third person rotate in and out running frontline or overwatch. You aren't supposed to let yourself get mobbed constantly anyway. There's this magical thing, not a lot of people know about it, but it's called not positioning yourself like a dumbass, and it results in the user not dying like one. Isn't that something? Alright, yeah, the only real problem is purely automatic bolters starting to feel increasingly underwhelming as you climb ranks, and buffs to those may actually be necessary, since they seem pretty sure they have enemies where they want them. I originally thought the new difficulties were going to be near impossible with the addition of the team tether, enraged units, multiple specials, all that after my first playthrough, but then I played some more and I realized, oh, no, I just kind of fucking suck right now because I've been allowed to get lazy, so it was time to get better. 3 missions later, and lethal feels the same as the original Ruthless template. Maybe you spend like 30 or so seconds planning before entry, but that's really it. Honestly, let's see another one of these difficulty upgrades, since this one only proves challenging for the better part of an hour. I was even able to grab a friend fresh off the update and get him the exclusive helmet in under 3 hours, so I can personally attest, as long as you garnish the match with a slight shred of competency, you're gonna be fine. You know, I got a working theory that will probably never be proven because they will never change their ways, and that's kind of why we're fucking with them today. But hear me out. If people dedicated their time to improving instead of crying, this difficulty wouldn't be too hard for them either. Oh, and I hate to say I told you so, but, well, who am I kidding? No, I love to say I told you so. If you refer to my initial patch notes when everything got too easy, I say something to the effect of, this is gonna hurt when it comes full circle, so don't take easy for granted and get all complacent. And wouldn't you know who won the pony? Everyone talking about Helldivers 3 right now. Look, we get it. You fucking suck and you're upset that you weren't good enough. But you don't seem to understand that you were in the wrong for expecting your pussy to be powdered and your pillow to be fluffed. I mean, I guess I can understand words are hard and these guys aren't exactly scholars. I mean, shit, when a word gets over 3 syllables, they just kind of clock out and, nope, can't use that. They probably don't know what a syllable is. Whatever. This is Warhammer. You sniveling vanilla bitch. We fuck skulls and we sacrifice goats to eldritch deities up in here. What happened to all that bravado and arrogance when it came to calling this game too much of a cakewalk? These guys were talking all that good shit a second ago about how easy the game was, and now look at them. They're out here acting like whole-ass victims of fucking around and finding out. Look, I just have trouble understanding why people would take such pride in beating games that are supposedly difficult, but then they throw up and start crying when more difficulty is added. If you were really about that life, you would have embraced it and not folded under the pressure. Nobody's making you play the new difficulty. If you're struggling, that's fine. Feel free to use the difficulty adjuster. Drop it down a few ticks. There aren't any rewards in here that you couldn't get in Ruthless anyways. This is specifically made for the challenge. It's the equivalent of signing up for a marathon and spending the entire time complaining that it's too long. This is meant to be a grueling shit show, like the failed abortions that led to the premature births that ended up giving us these crybabies to begin with. I don't know why they defer their anger towards things like game updates, giving them what they supposedly wanted. They should be more upset with the doctor that pushed in their soft spot, or the parents that did a shitty job of raising them. Oh, and I'll cover this base early. My issue is not that I'm upset with these people. Listen to my voice. I'm perfectly calm. I don't respect them, and therefore I will talk all the shit I want in order to disrespect them. I mean, look at some of the reactions that we're seeing here. You would have thought the dev team sodomized their grandmothers and shot their dogs in front of them. And I can already see it, the people ready to lecture me about how they completed Lethal on solo or some other lie, and then going in about how the mechanics are ridiculous because they've got an appeal to authority now. First of all, no, it's not that hard. And second of all, I informed the bitch police of your location, and they are on their way to collect you for an outstanding warrant. Oh no, you can't cheese a boss by dumping a bucket of bullshittery on it with Auspex scans and meltabonds. Whatever shall you do? Certainly not attempt to be worth a shit, of course not. No, that's way out of your comfort zone, and that's really what it's all about, isn't it? They're comfort zones. These dick-smoking turtle molesters want the game to be exactly tuned to them. It can't be hard enough to where they have to admit that they aren't good enough and need to practice more, but it has to be hard enough for them to manufacture a sense of superiority over others without trying. Who the fuck do they think they are? Goldilocks? Nah, none of that. This game showed them exactly how hard it was going to be, and proceeded to give them the world's most aggressive and borderline unconsensual enema. It's probably some distorted fashion of karma coming full circle and kicking them in the nuts, or I suppose kicking them where their nuts are supposed to be? I'm telling you, man, you could castrate some of these guys, drop their balls into a drinking straw, and it would look like corn kernels rolling down a storm drain. Actually, okay, I know I've been poking a lot of fun, and thank you for bearing with me this long, but I think I've got a story that can actually help these people, so I do hope they listen up. My grandma has this inhibition about learning new things, like cell phones, for example, particularly smartphones, and I don't recall when it started, but it's been around since as long as I can remember. The most fucked up part of all of this is that she is always on her tablet. And how those things work in duality, it just does not add up to me. But if the woman wanted to, I swear to you, she could get the elected officials, well, quote unquote elected officials of both China and Taiwan to play words with friends with one another if she thought the game was going to be good. But not Scrabble. No, never Scrabble. I think we accidentally turned her into an iPad kid, if I'm being honest. I don't know, man. Maybe you have to know her to get it for it to be a little more funny. Anyway, the moral of the story is you're a total bitch.